Hello, and welcome to this short presentation from Royal Cyber, where we will demonstrate to you how IBM products can help you in executing your business more effectively and efficiently. You're about to watch an overview of various functionalities of IBM Rational Focal Point, and these videos are intended to provide a head start with configuring and using IBM Rational Focal Point to its full potential. So considering the creation of users, workspace, modules, attributes, and elements is already known, so we will begin this presentation with workflows. With workflow defined, data within focal point travels through certain transitions. When a workflow is active, the focal point interface changes according to the workflow. Once a transition state is reached for a workflow, it presents the new transition options. This will continue onto other states and transitions until the workflow is complete or reach the final state. With the help of workflows, Rational Focal Point can be configured with respect to the processes that are being followed within any organization, processes like Prince2, PMP, or other similar processes. So now we will move to the Rational Focal Point interface and we'll see how we can define and use these workflows. So to begin with, I will log in as Workspace Administrator. We'll select the workspace. And to add the workflow, I would go to Configure and would select Workflows. Here, as you can see, there are 3 of the workflows already defined for projects, issues, and change requests. To add a new workflow, I would press Add Workflow. And from here, I'll get to choose the module for which the new workflow will be effective. Now, one thing important to know is that workflow can only be defined for the module which has choice type of attribute. For instance, if we choose Resource Profile, since this module does not have any choice attribute, you cannot define a workflow attribute for this module. Instead, if I choose Business Needs, then these are some of the choice attributes that exist within this module. In our case, we'll be choosing State, for which the new workflow will be defined. And we'll name this workflow as Business Needs. So here, as we can see, on the left we have all the choices appearing from the selected attribute as states, and on the right we have links to define transition between these states. At the bottom of the page, we have option to associate this workflow with various views which have display option enabled against them. Also, against each state, we have an edit icon which enables administrator to restrict the information being revealed at each state. On the left, we have all the attributes from Business Need module appearing on the screen, and from here we get to decide that what would be the state of each of the attribute when a new element would be added against the business module. After deciding the level of information to be revealed at each state, you need to define the transition. To define the transition, we'll click on the Add Transition link. So now it needs to be decided that from the new state, what would be the next state of this element. In our case, we would be choosing Accepted. So after selecting the next state, we need to choose if the transition should be direct or should be with option. In case of direct, there would be no input required while this transition takes place between 2 states, or in case with option, user can be asked for desired information while this transition takes place. As in our case, we would want user to provide comments when this transition takes place between the 2 states. Similarly, we can enable any of the attribute from this module while this transition takes place. So coming back to the previous screen, here we can add multiple transition against each state, and when all the transition for all the states are completed, the workflow for this particular business module will be completed. For a working example of workflows, we will go back to the project workflow and we'll see how it is configured and is being applied for the creation of new projects. So as you can see, for the project module, the workflow attribute being used is project state, and these are the various choices that are registered within this attribute. And for each state, there are multiple transitions that are defined, which means when the project will be in the draft state, there will be available transition to either submit or delete the draft project. When it would be submitted, the next state would be proposed, and then there would be a couple of transitions that will be available when the project will be in proposed state. If we see the level of information that is being revealed in the draft state, we can see there are plenty of attributes for the project module that are editable, and there are even more which are hidden in the beginning. Similarly, for the transitions, we can see that in the submit transition, the user will be asked to provide information about submitter and the comments, and the rest of the information about this project would remain hidden. And after defining all the states, this workflow has been assigned to the following views, which has display check on against them. To give you a quick overview of how the transition would look like, I have created a custom view which is called All Projects, and with this view we'll be able to see all the projects in all the states. So now we will log in as a person who can view all the projects in all these states. So now I will log in as a steering committee person who has access to the view, which includes all the projects in all the states. To access that view, I will go to the display and will pick that particular view, which is all projects. And as I can see here, there are 7 projects available, and each project would have a different state. As in the test project 6, the current state is on hold, and the available transitions are either to restart or stop this project. And whatever transition will be picked, user would be asked for the information that is defined for that transition. Such as in this case, we have to provide information about CLM attribute and the comments attribute. Likewise, each project is in a different state and would provide a different set of transitions. As in the case of project 1, the further transitions can be either approve for implementation or reject. In project 2, the state can only be changed to ready for implementation. And project 5, which is in the delivered state, has no further transitions available as the workflow has completed at this point. And for the new projects, they need to be added against this workspace. As per the definition of this view, the state attribute is hidden while the project is added for the first time, which ensures that each project goes through the similar workflow that has been defined for the projects. However, user with administrative privileges can alter the state of the project without going through the workflow. With this, we come to the end of our demonstration. If you are interested in learning more about this tool, you're welcome to contact Royal Cyber representatives. Thank you and have a good day.